Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday. I am here with Dr. Murphy. I am Mo, and what we do on Mythbuster Monday, if you didn't already know from the title, I ask him a question. He tells me if it's true or if it's a myth.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. And our topic today is probably COVID.
But it's not. I know you're disappointed because we can't get enough of COVID. It's the most popular, trending topic. Okay, but here's another.
Can I just mention COVID?
Sure, we already did.
Oh, okay.
You said it already. Let's see how many times you can say COVID in this video. Okay, so the deal is this. This is nothing new. We've talked about this plenty, but I wanted to shake it up. Is it true that obesity could rob you of 20 years of your health?
Yes.
Okay, so I knew that was true, but what I thought would be really interesting is...
It could rob you more than that, actually.
Oh, yeah. It depends on your age. It depends on how much weight you are overweight.
Depends on underlying comorbidities, heart disease, joint disease, diabetes, kidney disease, everything.
Yeah, this...
which is all pretty much caused from being overweight.
Which is caused from, like we've talked about on the video Friday, is, you get overweight. Usually that comes with a lot of other things. This just said individuals who had a BMI of... 30. Well, I think this was this was in the UK. That's why I was like, why is it like kg? Okay, so kilograms. So then I was sitting there thinking, and then I was like, wait, wouldn't they do things in stones? But I don't know how they do things there because they do weight in stones, right? Guys, I don't know. Anyway, it's true they do. They call it stones. I'm like a certain amount of stones.
Right. Well, I know their currency's in pounds.
Anyway, they do stones.
Sterling.
Whatever, it's fine. But what it is kilograms. So they said, what do you know how that translates over?
Yeah, roughly 2 kilograms to a pound.
Okay, so basically those who aged anywhere between 20 to 39, if their BMI was 30 kilograms, basically
60 pounds.
Yes. So they said it basically shaved off almost 12 years of their life. The same BMI for those aged 60 to 70 was 3.9 years.
Well, that's because at that age you're not going to live that much longer anyway.
Yeah. And then once it got up to those of very obese individuals between, this is a BMI over 35 kilograms.
Which is approaching 80 pounds.
It says they... basically had a potential of losing 19.1 years of their life off of,
That's all true.
Just being overweight.
That's all true.
And then, of course, if you want to look at all those, basically,
I agree with all that.
Basically, it does depend on how old you are. It depends on how much you're overweight, but
depends how long you've been overweight too.
How long you've been overweight.
I mean, they're not telling me anything I don't know after doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, they said researchers concluded that when the effect of... What?
I started doing this in 86.
Jeez. So 33 years.
Something like that.
33?
34 years. Going on 35.
Yeah, jeez.
You weren't even born.
No, I wasn't. It says that those living with chronic illnesses such as type 2 diabetes or cardiovascular disease, basically they said they considered healthy life years lost was 2 to 4 times greater than total years of life lost, and in some instances as much as 8 times greater.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it really, I just think we don't talk about that enough about how much
you don't realize
that it shaves your life off. It's like, I'm overweight, like it's funny and everybody... I'm not trying to demonize anyone. And I'm all about people feeling confident.
We're trying to make you aware of what it is that's going on with you.
You're killing yourself, potentially. If you're obese,
don't
especially.
Don't put it off. Don't ignore it. Take it seriously. Yeah. I mean, you really have to do this if you want to live to see your grandkids and grow up and have them dropped off at the house every weekend so you can babysit them every freaking weekend.
And enjoy the whole thing.
And pick up the toys and mop up the floors and do the laundry and fight when they go to bed at night. Yeah.
I don't know.
If you want to enjoy that.
I may just think it sounds better to the other one.
The part that really pisses me off about this.
What?
Insurance companies don't pay for obesity.
No.
Medicare doesn't pay for obesity. You know what, I'm going to give Trump some piece of advice because I don't know if this guy's going to get reelected or not. I'm kind of hoping he does. I don't want to get political, but I think it's probably the right move to make here. If they would pay, and if a government official would even have a foresight of a gnat, okay, to do this, insurance companies, we're all in our 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, okay, before 65, would pay for obesity. That means Medicare wouldn't have to pay for all the diabetes, the heart complications, the strokes, all the long-term complications if the federal government would force insurance companies to pay for obesity, and they ought to make it free.
I totally agree. We have patients.
If anything, for patient education, make it free.
Totally. I mean, we literally
that would save this country
so much.
Yeah, but they don't want to do it. You know why? Because pharmaceuticals are making money off obesity. They're making tons of money off diabetes medicines. They make tons of money off blood pressure pills. Oh, pharmaceutical companies, they want you fat. They want you overweight. And any new drug that's going to come out for overweight, I mean, they're going to rail this into the ground because they don't want it to be known.
Yeah,
I truly do believe that.
I would agree too.
The only way they can make money is to keep you unhealthy because you got to buy their drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We see it all the time with HSA cards and all that. That's about the only way people can pay for it.
I know. I hate to sound like a conspiratist, but I think it's true.
Well, it has to be.
And I think a lot of doctors are somewhat blinded by this bullshit, which is what it is. Because I'll be honest with you, I've been in Joplin for 30 plus years now. All these doctors in town that have been around here for a long time, they all know me. I know them all too. You know how many patients I've got sent here by cardiologists for overweight because they were truly concerned about their patients? Zero. Mm-hmm. And I give up. I have internal medicine doctors refer me to patients. I have family practice doctors refer me to patients. But cardiologists, no. I've had kidney transplant doctors refer me to patients, but they weren't from around here because we don't have any kidney transplant doctors. They're from Kansas City. They'll send me their patients because they know kidney transplant and being overweight, that is a bad thing to be when you're having a kidney transplant. But cardiologists, no. Yeah. Heart surgeons, no.
It really just feels like in general, I mean, since this is what we're talking about, it just feels like in general being overweight is one of the most dangerous things you could be.
It is. And what they want to do is, I'll treat you for your blood pressure. I'll treat you for your high cholesterol. I'll treat you for your diabetes. But I'm not treating you for your overweight. I'm like, if you just treat them for the overweight, you cure all of it, all three of the above. And I guess then you don't have to see them ever again. Yeah. I give up.
Yeah.
I've been preaching this for 30 years, and I'm just done.
Yeah. And you know what? The good news is a lot of individuals realize it. Unfortunately, just some of the people who should be making sure that we're not playing the game of let's get you to take pills.
The lady I saw today, she didn't have much weight to lose, and I told her she was doing a few things wrong, and I said, you know what? If you just do this right, I'll never see you again for the rest of your life. You just have to tweak a few things. Yeah. And once I explained it to her what she was doing wrong, she's like, oh my God, I never realized it. And I go, yeah. That's how it works.
Well, and it does sneak up some things like that. Yeah. And there is here's another thing that supports your conspiratist idea. You're thinking that
it's not a conspiracy. I think it's true.
It is true. That's because we literally learn nothing about this when we're younger. There are no nutrition classes. I literally, when I was in high school, I started having issues with my weight when I was a senior. And if it hadn't been for you and Mom, I would have never learned a single thing about food. I would have never realized why I was gaining weight. I literally had no idea. That's how crazy it is. And it doesn't make sense that I wouldn't know now. But we see people all the time who haven't the slightest idea anything about nutrition. And it's because, there are a lot of things that whoever it is that deems that's important information for us to learn thinks we should know versus things like this that are actually improving our quality of life. I learned nothing about it. I had to figure this out on my own for the most part.
Now here comes the big disclaimer.
Yeah.
This is my stepdaughter.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about this.
Yeah. Well, if I did talk to you about it when you were 16 years old, wouldn't you have listened to me?
Well.
Yes or no?
I did though.
No. You hated me.
Well, I did.
Okay.
Hated. I don't know. Why'd you drop the D off there? Just
Still
kidding. Do. I'm just kidding. No, but anyway,
okay. We didn't get along.
No, we didn't. But I did listen to you.
You didn't get along. I got along with you.
Because remember, I wanted Phenermine back when I was in high school, and Mom said first we talked about the card that you have, that you give all the patients with nutrition sheet. I used that nutrition sheet. I tracked my food. I tracked my calories. I didn't. It was because of you. Now, did I ever tell you that? No, I would have never.
You're going to thank me now? I'm going to get all teary-eyed?
No, you're not going to get teary-eyed. But you
did. She forgives me.
If it wasn't for you, I would have never known anything about calories.
I'll tell you the one thing I'm really proud of
true.
is your sister. I mean, she's really done a good job.
She is a little skinny thing nowadays.
Yeah, she is.
She dropped a lot of weight. We're also doing a body fat challenge now, too. We started one here at the clinic. If you're interested in that, let us know. But I just took everybody's body fat percentage the other day. It was really eye-opening, I think, for a lot of people.
Okay. Well, let me drop this one on there because it's a Mythbuster. It's easy to figure out. Just Google BMI. Now, it's a rough guesstimate of your, how much weight. Anything over 18, just figure out what the poundage is. That's how much fat you have.
And there's a lot of pictures online, too, that show you certain body types. So even if you don't have calipers to pinch certain areas, figure out what your body fat is.
Just use the weight. Just use the BMI. It's a real crude guesstimate.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. We did calipers and everything like that and got it real drilled in. But literally, I just looked up pictures of certain body types and compared it, and you can really see probably where you're at.
Yep.
And when you realize that a lot of people, like what they deem to be an average and what it takes to be overweight, obese, it's sort of shocking.
It really is, because there's a big difference in how much fat is okay to carry. Because a BMI of, if you weighed 100 pounds and your BMI was, say, 25, that means you're roughly carrying around about 8 pounds of body fat. Okay, well, if you're 200 pounds, you're carrying around roughly 20 pounds of body fat. If you're 300 pounds, you're carrying around a whole hell of a lot more then. Okay, so it's height versus weight. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. But if you figure it out, it's really an eye-opener.
Yeah, and if you get to a point where you're like, if you say the words, whatever your percentage is, maybe if it's 35% of my body is nothing but fat, that's kind of shocking.
If
you're like, holy cow.
Well, if you do the numbers, if you're relatively short stature and you're 200 pounds, 35% of your body is, going to be body fat, which is a BMI of around 50. Okay, you're looking at 70 pounds being overweight.
I mean, and that I think is really important information. Almost made me wonder if we should maybe start giving people a percentage and saying roughly based on these numbers, like patients when they come here.
It's easy to do.
I think it is almost more shocking when you hear how much of your body is fat.
It is.
You're like, oh my God, I thought this was just my body. And it is, but it's also like, doesn't need to be there. It's basically saying a good chunk of this you don't need. In fact, a good chunk of this is harming you.
Yep.
And then you almost feel like you're carrying around a little parasite on your back.
And if you want to know how bad it feels, go to Walmart, get a bag of overweight dog food, 40 pounds, carry it up and down the aisle, throw it back. That's what you're feeling like.
Yeah. And just imagine what your body would feel like if you could remove that from yourself right now. I mean, you don't even know how much better you might feel.
Move like the wind.
Yeah.
You could go to Silver Dollar City and not get out of breath.
We had a patient, and I know our video is running long on this one, but we had a patient the other day, and Jane, she's lost like 50 pounds, and she said, I just can't, I mean, she almost cried, obviously, but she said, I just can't explain how good I feel. I didn't realize how bad I felt. She didn't even realize. She got used to it.
We had one there the other day. He was 71 years old. He lost about 50 pounds, and he goes, man, Doc, I'm back to running.
I mean, it's a game changer.
Like, it is.
She even said, she was like, my skin and hair look better. And I was like, oh my gosh, totally. I mean, it all goes together.
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, there's that one.
Big Mythbuster.
Big Mythbuster. So it's true.
Yes.
All right. Well, everyone, we hope you enjoyed this video.
Long video.
We'll be back tomorrow for Trash Talk Tuesday. We'll try to keep it a little shorter. But maybe you like these long videos. Let us know.